When you look at the demographic characteristics of Uganda, we add onto our population about 1 million people annually. So even when 2-3 years ago, poverty reduction was up to about 21 point something %, and by 2019 it had gone to 20 point something. There is an insignificant movement because of the population. The implication is that the scale of population increase, the growth rate of the population of the country is always surpassing the scale of public investment.
Let's look at certain things like connection to the electricity grid. We are seeing the number of people connected falling, and yet there are more people getting solar in their homes. What does that mean?
By percentage, because you have got a higher population rate of growth than the economic growth, for instance, numerically you can have numbers of the people connected increasing from 12 yesterday to 16 today, but by percentage there could be a risk of a reduction. The percentage reduction and the numerical reduction or increase at times are not necessarily moving in the same direction.
And people who owned radio sets in 2017 were around 45%, and now they are 32%. Yet, those who owned televisions were 17, now they are 19. I think there's a shift upwards.
Yes, there is a shift upwards, and in respect to access television sets or television services in this country, remembering also that people, until COVID time, for instance, people would gather around a common place for access television, and through makeshift buildings and structures to access television services. But the implication is that we are beginning to increasingly see the positive dividend that is coming out of investments like education. And that means that we are getting certain types and characters of consumers, of citizens, with a better level of consciousness and awareness. The literacy levels that have gone from about 40% 10 years ago now to 73 are translating into the choice for a television set as opposed to a radio set. The citizen, the mwananchi, is beginning to make a distinction and go for better services out of a television set than a radio. And that is encouraging for the country.
And let's look at the number of people who own a mobile phone.
Yeah.
74%.
It means that, for instance, the liberalization policy, challenges notwithstanding, has generally been successful in respective to the telecom subsector in Uganda. Also, with the increased access telephone handsets, moreover connected to internet, it provides an opportunity for e-services, agricultural e-services, health services, education, and many others.
Yes,
that's an opportunity.
You talked about the internet now, and that brings me to the other question. When you look at the number of Ugandans who have access to the internet, you will find that 83% use it for social networking. Only 16% use it for business. Quite a big gap, isn't it?
There is an opportunity now for government and other institutions like Uganda Debt Network and many others to increase the access of digital services with this increased interconnectivity, quickening of real-time access to information, but also enabling those facilities from social media type of work and misinformation to real-timely information. The Ministry for ICT and the Ministry for National Guidance can use that opportunity. No wonder we are saying for government realization of those kinds of facilities and opportunities that an investment, as we are seeing in the parish development model, is increasingly talking about e-services of extension services and other digital opportunities about market information, that you can be in Busi on the other side of the country and know what is happening at the border point in Chisoro, in Toroko, and then you can quickly respond accordingly as a producer and as a trader.
So given the numbers now that you've seen, what do you think we need to focus on as a country?
We need to focus more on the quality of social services to our people. Those who need family planning services should access them. Remembering that in Uganda, access service, family planning services is a paltry 33%. You can imagine, out of the people that would need such services. It means we have to have additional impetus into the quality of education beyond numbers, so that we can see a quality population where households can live on their own without having to depend on government, as we have seen during the COVID situation, where people expected government financial services and at times that have not been able to make it through. It also means that we have to continue to integrate our kind of investments rather than disjointed efforts that we have seen in the previous government endeavors. So integration, harmonization, linking to the markets and organizing people into producer groups for high quality commodities for certain relevant markets domestically and externally.